Hi Simon, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Fine. Well, I've got a cold, so I apologise in advance for any sniffles or strange sounds I make. I'm going to try to avoid them as much as possible, though. So I'm great, but a cold. Sorry.
Any slurping noises is me drinking tea and pauses in speech. Like that. Well, we're here today. We are going to do a kind of something closer to our normal type of podcast, I guess. But today it has a bit of a special tilt to it because it is about the awards, which are coming up this Sunday at Haynes Motor Museum. It's going to be marvellous. All of the votes are in and counted by electronical machines. We get to see them, but you don't get to hear about them until Sunday. And what we're going to do is run through the threads that we got up and have a little look over what got nominated and anything that jumps out at us. Have a little chat about that. So that'd be nice.
Avoiding spoilers.
Yes, no spoilers.
Which is a good rule for everything.
I think there'll be one spoiler, but it won't spoil the result because I've just spotted something in the event thread which makes me sad. But we'll talk about that a little bit. But first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the awards and where they came from. So we've been doing awards for over 10 years, and I decided to do them slightly as a way of promoting the forum. It's a little bit of a thing of swag to go, oh yes, we're going to grant awards out to people like we were the best thing in the world ever. But we had like 400 people on the site or something at the time. But it seemed to work. People enjoyed it. It was a great way of like recognising good stuff that was out there and defining a little bit about what we were about.
And seeing new stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think
so that was important.
Yeah.
And then
I think people would be upset if we stopped doing them now.
It's weird because every year I think I'm not going to bother with this anymore because it's quite hard work, and then I always miss a nomination here or there. Last year was the 2015 results thing was just terrible. Nearly 99% all personal reasons, and I apologise to everybody for it, but I'm not going to apologise too much because it was all unforeseen. But
as I recall, I didn't step up and help in any way. Which I often do, but in this case, I just sort of sat around quietly and didn't do anything. So,
well, it's perfectly legit. I was sort of trying to get them together last year. I tried to do ACE, but then that wasn't going to work for various reasons. And then I tried to do them as a video. Bizarrely, that didn't work for various ridiculous reasons. And then I moved house, by which time it was the middle of February and it had all gone horribly wrong. So, but it wasn't just the house move that was wrong, it was all sorts of other stuff. But we won't go into that because that's not correlated and it's not interesting and it's not fun. What is fun is that Simon then decided, somewhere along the line, that we should do an award ceremony.
Yes, what an idiot.
Yeah, what a brilliant idea that was.
Yeah.
So rather than Grosvenor Park Hotel, where did we end up?
At the Ace Cafe, which has got to be better. I've been to Grosvenor Park Hotel quite a lot. Grosvenor House Hotel, and yes. I prefer the Ace Cafe, if I'm honest.
Well, you can get more cars in the lobby, so...
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we did that, and we did that kind of by arrangement with Ace, but not really by arrangement with the classic car night that we were on top of. But
I'm not sure the Ace were that involved in any of our awards. Yeah, to be honest, they certainly pretended not to know about it, even if we discussed it in advance.
Yeah, if you've never been to the award ceremony, the first couple were probably the best organised, bizarrely, and then after that it all got a bit ramshackle because they kept forgetting that we'd booked in to do it. So the first one we had a stage and a microphone and it was all great, and it was a little bit ropey because I was unaccustomed to public speaking at the time. Simon offered to help, but basically ended up just sort of standing at the edge of the stage handing me awards like a glamorous assistant once I got in full flow.
Describes me perfectly.
You are glamorous. And then we, over the years, we ended up doing them from the stairs via the in-house speakers that they use for announcements. Yeah. Last time I did them there, I did them with a microphone, a megaphone.
Yes,
from the stage. That was terrible. I think I've done them before without the aid of anything. I know the very first Retro Rides gathering, we decided to do awards there, obviously, because it's a show. And then after we'd picked everything for the awards, we realised that we didn't actually have any way of disseminating this information other than me standing in the middle of a car park and yelling at everyone. Luckily, I have a very loud voice. My poor wife has to put up with. Yeah, over the years, it got increasingly ramshackle Ace, and I've always felt bad about co-opting the classic night, but apparently they don't mind. They're happy that we turn up and sort of fill the night out with stuff. So I'm a little bit sad to not be there, but I now live on the other side of the country, and it's a little difficult to get to the Ace Cafe midweek of an evening. Being quite selfish.
Yeah.
I get to move the awards around.
Yeah, miles away from me. Thanks for that.
I was fully aware that I was moving it miles away from a lot of people that usually came to it. And yeah, it's closer to other people, but it's still.
I think it's a good thing. I think a lot of people will be going that haven't been before, and it'll make it interesting. And I get to put my money where my mouth is and make the trip as well. So yeah, it's not a bad thing. And to be honest, I think to get to Somerset might be quicker than it is to get to the Ace on a weekday evening sometimes.
I've had that experience.
20 miles versus 150 miles. I think it might be about the same time. So
going around the South Circular, then the North Circular on a Wednesday evening was at rush hour. Definitely took quite a while.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So what we're doing we're doing it this weekend at Haynes. So Sunday the 31st of January.
Yeah.
If you can make it, that's great. You probably are already aware of it and have decided whether or not you're coming, but if this is your first time hearing about it, come along, it should be good. We've got discount entry to the museum. The way it's going to work is in the reception, we'll have a table with a little Retro Rides logo thing on it somewhere. All my banners and stuff are elsewhere at the moment, so I'm just going to print something out. And we've got a hand stamp. So it'll be a bit like a nightclub. So we'll stamp your hand and then you can go over to the counter and get your cheaper entry and have a wander around the museum. And about 2:00 we are in the Napier rooms doing the awards.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. That's it. And the Haynes Museum's changed a lot since I was there as well, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been completely redone.
When I was looking at houses, we drove past it. I was like, what the hell is happening here? 'Cause it was a massive construction site. And when I looked into it, they were adding a whole new wing. They got this new cafe thing going on there. We forewarned them that we got probably somewhere between 60 and 100 people turning up. So, which is bigger than any of the ones that we had at the Ace, I think. I think the most we had at the Ace was about 40 odd people. So it's good. And I think being on a weekend frees it up a little bit for people as well. That Wednesday evening was pretty cool for the diehard people, but because you got to say, I drove from North Wales to the Ace Cafe to go and see this ridiculous thing. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a little bit nicer when it's on a Sunday because it's a little bit easier
for normal people.
Yeah, for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So that's this weekend. I'm also going to give away the awards for the 2014, which I didn't do last year. So I've actually got to get some awards together. At the moment, I have no awards and a black and white printer. So I'm currently considering what to give as awards.
Yeah. Are you asking me? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, I could ask you actually. Let's do that.
I'm not sure you should. Yeah, we'll discuss that.
We'll discuss that afterwards. But there will be things handed out to people, even if it's a piece of paper to say you're great, and then a gold star. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's have a look through what we got nominated wise. I won't go in depth to every single one of these because there's a lot of nominations, which was great. But which is funny because I always complain about there being no nominations for ages, and then suddenly when I come to compile the results, I'm like, oh, okay, there's hundreds of nominations, even though it doesn't look like there's many. So we're going to go into events first. Started at the bottom. Now we're here. So, that's an interesting result. See, I can do that. And,
I'm not sure it is. I don't know.
I think it's an interesting result because of how close it is.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
But that's good. So let's have a look at we got Ultimate Stance, which we love because we went there and we won a prize.
I didn't go there, but it's got pink carpets, so that's got to be worth something, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's an extra point here and there. I went only for the setup day, just to hand over some banners and stuff to Dean with the Lotus. It was basically the low set stand as a retro ride stand, but then they were, if you draw a Venn diagram, kind of the low set lives inside the retro rides thing, so it is all legit. And we won a prize for having the best stand because we are the best.
Good stuff.
So that was all good. What else have we got in here? We got Retro Kings of Snetterton, which was nice to see get voted for and get nominated. So that was our first off event. We partnered up with the guys from Time Attack to do that.
Yeah.
Players Classics in there, which is nice to see.
I did go to that,
yes,
and I really enjoyed that. So
you were a big fan of that, weren't you?
Well, I mean, it's really difficult to be a fan. I would think anyone else who's voting had the same problem. That is, how do you vote against things you didn't go to? So I don't know whether the Players Classic was better than the Kilbrony Classic Car Show. So I didn't go to both. But do you vote? Do you not vote as a result? I think you have to put a vote in for what you did. And I went to Players Classic, and thinking about the fun I had there, it was quite a good one. But it depends. Sometimes you could meet some old friends there, and it'd make it a great show. Or you could see one car, or it could just have good weather.
So I had that experience at one of the Forge Action Day at Castle Combe. I went there not really having any kind of game plan. I thought, well, it's local. I've got a day free. I've got a camera. I'll pop along, take some photos.
Yeah.
Get something for the Instagram account, all that stuff. And then I bumped into Bryn, and then I bumped into Big Perm, and I had a great day.
That's a good day right there.
Yeah, it was good. And then
you couldn't have a bad day with that combination.
No, and we went and we saw Huxley, and we went and chatted with a bunch of other people, and it was really good. And
does that make it a good show? That's the thing.
That's the thing. Is
hanging around with some pretty cool guys is a good show. But how do you separate that when you're deciding, should I vote for this or should I vote for this? Should it be just about the cars, or should it be about the fact that some really good friends were there?
That was what's interesting. That's what's interesting. I find it difficult to differentiate the two. The Forge Action Day is great. Like anyway, it's just a good day out.
Yeah.
But
that's not nominated, is it?
No, it wasn't. But I think it's because it's not particularly retro focused. It's just like a good day out if you like cars and stuff. But it was made really good. I very much enjoyed it because of the people I met up with. Which was interesting. I didn't do retro show this year. I kept on meaning to, and then for some reason I didn't. I think I was on holiday again. I tend to be on holiday quite a lot.
I tend to miss the retro show every year these days, which, considering it was the best thing ever to happen to me for a long time when they did that first one. Yeah.
I went to the Goodwood members meeting, and I voted for it because it was phenomenal, really good.
I didn't go. See, that's where that difficulty comes from, isn't it? It could have been the best show ever, but I wasn't there. I can't vote for it, and I'm sure other people said the same.
Yeah, it's typical. It was typical Goodwood Fair. It had all of the things you'd want to see if you were going to that kind of thing, and you could have a wander around it all, and it was all quite nice, all very civilised. And I went with my wife.
I think you might have just thought of the slogan for the next Retro Rise Gathering: all the things you want to see if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm working with Graham or Gray that used to have the Impala Lowrider on the artwork for this year's show, and we've gone down a route of retro computer games type graphics. Just as a complete divergence. And he's made these little adverts that have weird cars, weird people, which I quite like, but at the same time I'm not sure of the implication. So we might need to change the wording on those, but it's quite good. And the one thing I'm going to spoil on this is I'm going to tell somebody a result.
Hang on, are you sure you want to spoil things?
I'm going to spoil the result of the Nakayoshi Hot Olds Association meet.
Well, I can see that result in front of me, and I think it is a spoiler. Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it?
So, Nakayoshi Hot Olds Association meeting, which is probably one of the best car meetings in the world ever, got 0 votes.
No votes.
Nil point for Japanese people. So
I haven't been since 2006.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to vote for a show you haven't been to. To be fair, and I can perhaps understand why it's not been voted for. But just looking at the photos, it was brilliant. But there we go. Right, let's have a quick look. Move on to best media. Otherwise, we're going to be here for days.
Okay.
Best media. So I started doing best media because we used to have best magazine, best blog, best website, best video, and all that stuff. And it occurred to me, really, it was sort of all one thing, and getting people to vote in all of these categories was time-consuming and troublesome. So I mashed them all together to see what's what. In fact, I've just realised I haven't voted on this, and I'm going to vote for that.
Well, hang on. Is it going to change in front of me? How exciting.
No, it won't change much. So again, this is another close one. So it's good to see. We got Speed Hunters. They're generally always represented in these things. They
are good.
They do good stuff. I found their content up and down past year. They've had sort of periods where they seem to be really relying on Dino in Japan to make their interesting content, or maybe it's because that's the content I find most interesting. And occasionally, the lovely Mr. Jonathan Moore pops up with something completely different to everything else they do on it, and that's always nice as well.
They're doing their art series as well. I don't know if you've been following that. I think they're 3 episodes into doing their artwork thing, and I did submit some stuff. So
nice.
I'm watching that in case I appear on it, but I might not, which will be an insult. I'll be upset. But don't worry,
it's outrageous.
I shall get over it because they don't send an email back saying, "Oh, your stuff's in. We're going to use it." Or at least I think they don't, because they certainly didn't. So will my work appear? I don't know.
Oh, hopefully it will.
There you go. If I had voted for them, I'd have unvoted for them.
Yeah, unticked you.
So they're not voting for me. Maybe they will.
Then we got California Look that I just voted for because I like California Look. It's a Japanese blog about VWs and hot rods and domestic car scene. It's quite nice. I quite like it. Their photos are good. They're good on Instagram as well. They're like the complete package. Like the blog itself's fine, but the fact they got their Instagram and their Facebook's all good.
Okay, you're probably ahead of me here because I've never heard of it, so I'm going to have to look that up.
Oh, you see, that's the point of the awards. You now need to go and have a look at it. It's good stuff. Sorry for butchering your language. That's
great.
Crazy Brazilian cars. On the Facebooks, and that's all good. We like that.
Have you seen what they're doing now? Those lovely Brazilian chaps,
not what they're doing,
and chapesses, I expect, is they are lowering their cars so far now, and it's got to be a new hot trend. They're lowering their cars so far that the wheels go round when they're static.
Oh yes, I've seen that. They get it so that they're literally laying frame.
Yeah, so literally the wheels are lifted into the air, which has got to be, short of digging a hole, is as low as you can get.
Yeah, it's about as much as you can do.
Yeah. That's the new benchmark. Is your car low enough for the wheels to no longer work? Brilliant. Or no longer function as anything other than spinny things.
We've got Slash Drive, which is a YouTube channel. I actually like Slash Drive quite a lot. It's a bit more modern content, but they got their tuned section. And they have this whole section around engineered, I think it's called. Right. That is, they tell you how stuff works. So it tells you how turbos work and why they're cool, and what you do about suspension geometry when you lower your car and stuff, which is quite interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, like it's sort of fairly detailed, or more to the point, why you ruin your suspension geometry when you lower your car.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Never happened.
Never done it. That's pretty cool. Petrolicious, drive tastefully and all that. Lovely stuff. Project Binky, which is interesting to see. So in the month, this is why I quite like this. In and amongst sort of Speed Hunters and Drive, which are, they've got a budget. They're doing things. Petrolicious have clearly got a budget. You got Project Binky, which is people doing lunacy on YouTube, which I quite like.
Now, I have to say, aside from Speed Hunters, this is the first one I've actually seen or watched or anything. I've only just recently come round to the whole watching stuff on YouTube. A couple of factors involved, without trying to be too boring, is that we cancelled the Sky bit that gives us all Discovery Channel and stuff because of how poor I am. And then we bought an Amazon TV stick thing at Christmas.
Lovely.
And I've got it can do YouTube videos straight to our big telly, and not sounding so poor now, am I? And so I'm watching loads of stuff. I caught up on all the Roadkills, and I've watched all the Project Binkies, and there's some really good stuff on there, even outside of that, in the world of BMX and skateboarding and stuff. It's really interesting to only literally in the last couple of months have I had my eyes opened to the fact that TV is now this thing you can just go out and do on your own, really. And I really like it.
Yeah, it's good.
And Project Binky is fantastic.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's everything. I think if you take away the jeopardy of Discovery-based TV car shows that everyone thinks you need to put in there, if you just take that away, so you don't have to be upset about the fact that the wheels didn't arrive until 10 minutes before we were supposed to finish the car and the customer was coming and all that sort of stuff, and literally just here we are building stuff. It's it works really well, Project Minky. I love it. You watch it and you just go, those guys are good. They really are.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, I predict that will do well.
Oh yeah, well you can predict that with safe knowledge. We've got Retro Cars Mag.
Yeah,
the venerable Retro Cars Mag every year gets nominated. Every year it gets voted. Dan White now in charge. I'm quite enjoying the recent issues. I enjoyed it under JJ as well, but I find at the moment I'm still finding it difficult to find time to read magazines, which is quite interesting. I buy them and I flick through them, but I'm not reading them that in depth because I'm either reading books or I'm on the internet, which is interesting. But
well, the internet, it'll never catch on.
I doubt it will.
No.
Another series which you just mentioned, Roadkill. Always good. I think my favourite one of theirs that I watched this year last year was when they took a lowrider across the desert, because that made me laugh like a drain.
It was, I really enjoy all of those. In fact, the one they released on Christmas Day, that was fun. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen any until relatively recently when Dan, Dan, who's not on Facebook, said you must watch those, and I did. So
I got told to watch them by a very bearded elk, and so I started to watch them from that point. That was a few years ago. In fact, I think that was when they were removing Dan from that's not on Facebook from the dungeon. So we got that, and then we got Mighty Car Mods, which is of a similar vein and really good fun. Love those guys. They got an episode, I don't know if you've seen it, where they went to Japan and basically just bought a Shakatan car and took it up to the mountains and drifted it.
I haven't seen that.
Mate, you should find that. They find some guys and they're driving this like proper Shakatan car out, going, "Oh my god, this is undrivable crap," which we kind of always expected. But although we have been in Shakatan cars, so we know what that's like.
Yeah.
8car Films, another one of those really high quality channels of good quality stuff, a bit like Drive, bit more modern stuff in there, but that's good. And Superfly Magazine, which I'm always curious about. I've looked at it a few times and it looks good, but I just can't work it out.
I was going to say exactly the same thing, and without genuinely with no negativity, is whoever they are. I think they were out in California recently, so they were there for SEMA and stuff like that, which I know isn't California, but they were at SEMA. And there was loads of stuff being posted, and then suddenly, recently, I think they've reverted back to things that they didn't necessarily take pictures of themselves and stuff. I don't know I don't know. For a little while, I was thinking they're sharing other people's stuff, and I'm not sure where from.
So I can work that out myself. So I can work out whether Superfly Magazine, and maybe they can clarify this. Maybe they can come on and tell us all about themselves and advertise themselves a bit. I can work out whether Superfly Magazine were aggregating other people's stuff, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's fine. People do it on the internet all the time. But that's not going to blow my mind. Or whether or not they were the source of all this stuff.
That's it. I think they had certainly a period of time over sort of Christmas or whatever where it was just like, blam, they're there and they're doing it, and then suddenly they're not there and they're not necessarily doing it anymore. I'd be interested to know what they are doing. Yeah, they might be interested to know that two people are having almost exactly the same thought. That is, who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah. Come on, if you're hearing this, Superfly.
Who are you? We can do an interview with them.
Oh, there we go. Come and talk to us. That'd be grand. I'm going to move on to Community Person of the Year, which the list isn't massive, so that's good. Sometimes this list gets long.
Yeah.
So we got Des at the top, him of cutting up hot rods and things.
Yeah.
But giving technical advice as well. That was quite nice. I like that he is around and about and available for technical help for what it's worth in the technical forum, and having been the recent recipient of various people's technical help while I try and mangle my suspension, that's been quite useful. Grizz, the South African,
Grizz,
always up in it, doing things, busy,
very socially minded is our Grizz.
Yes,
yes, and used to have some great freebies as well. I still use some of his pens. I
Oh.
think. I don't know whether you get votes for giving away free pens, or even if he gives away free pens anymore. But Grizz is a really nice, friendly bear on the forum.
He's a friendly bear of a man.
Well done, Grizz.
Then we got that mystery machine.
Never heard of him.
Some guy, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we got Lucky 7.
Hang on, we just.
No,
it feels like that was a snub.
It was not a snub, Bruce. We love you, really.
We love Bruce. Yes.
He's been around for a long time.
But he's in there. We know who he is, and he's doing good things. So
that's
I
nice.
like him.
We got Lucky 7, who has been providing the forum with photos and entertainment for an entire year.
He does brilliant. I love his show write-ups. They're brilliant. And whilst sometimes they may be on the side of negativity, which our forum is not about negativity. Don't worry, we're negative in person, but not on the forum. They're brilliant, and I love them. And it's in fact, when I do a show report, I like to feel a bit of humour and a bit of fun in there. So hats off to Mr. Lucky 7.
That's all good. Then we got the Tab Collective. Which is the first of the collectives, and that's Andy, Elk, Dan, who's not on the internet, Phil, plus assorted other people.
Me, I'm kind of a tabist these days.
Lies,
I am.
Absolute nonsense.
Well, I've got a Passat parked there.
Well, yeah. So you have a dead vehicle there. So
they've helped me out as part of a community. So
that's good. Then we've got Camera Shy, who is the lovely Canadian chap.
Yes.
And he is really genuinely a lovely guy.
Yeah.
So that's all good. El Woody, whose contribution to the forum this year has been great, just sort of in there, personable, chatting with people.
Yeah, that's
nice.
right. Yeah.
Nice, I like that. The Bristol lot, which is effectively the kind of old Area 52 lot, which I don't know if that's still going. I'm assuming it still is, and assorted people around that, who I'm vaguely familiar with, having previously lived in the vicinity and had cars at Area 52. All lovely chaps, all willing to lend a hand on stuff like the Tab Collective. I wonder if we can get some kind of West Side Story type dance off going on between the Tab Collective and the Bristol lot.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Lots of clicking at each other. Mr. Bastard Child, who has been much more active this year. Which is interesting. He sort of disappeared for a while and went and lived with Piston Heads for a bit, and then came back and spent some more time with us. He's always been doing the hill climb at the various gatherings.
That's worth a vote on its own, isn't it?
To be honest,
the work he puts into that, what a dude.
That is hard work, and he does it well. Dr. Dick, who I'm going to be honest, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. Who is he? Let's do an interview with him as well.
Let's do an interview with Dr. Dick.
Only do interviews with people we don't really know who they are. It'll be brilliant.
He got nominated and he's been voted for. So that's quite nice.
I can see that someone's voted for him.
But that's kind of part of the thing. So we actually, really, I should be looking up and seeing who he is because
we will. We'll do it.
And why he got nominated because he's clearly somebody out there is going. This guy, what a lovely chap.
Did something for me.
Did something for me, which is exactly what communities are about.
Yes.
Chaser.
Chaser.
Again, a bit like El Woody, sort of up in threads, being a nice guy, all good. That gets you a little bit of recognition. That's it, people. Be nice.
Yeah.
Don't be mean.
And helping out. I think what you don't know is behind the scenes. Some of this stuff might happen on the forum. It's I know it's forum contributor and all that, but it's community person. And some of these are like is you're buying stuff from around the country and someone helps out or posts something or picks something up or looks at a car for you on the other side of Britain or anything like that, and these people could be getting votes because they're really super helpful. Not necessarily anything we can see on the forum, but behind the scenes
they're out there doing things.
They're probably having a great barbecue that we weren't invited to or something. So everyone went to Chaser's barbecue this year and had a great time.
Chaser,
possibly.
Next year your barbecue you need to invite us.
Definitely.
If it's a thing, if it's what happens.
It may be entirely fictional.
Well, it could be. George B. Him of Manila fame.
Yes.
So he gets nominated because again, always in threads, always seems to be a nice guy. I'm guessing he's not had a barbecue that everyone's been to unless people have got a bit more spendy on their flight money.
No.
But and his Manila letters from Manila thread is entertaining.
It is. It's I love that thread. In fact, it's not very car related, but it's excellent, and I know I enjoy it.
Okay, let's move on to readers' other modifications.
Yeah.
Which it's always entertaining for me because I don't spend anywhere near enough time in there. I've actually got a thread in readers' other modifications about the model cars I started to build, and I didn't get very far before I lost the will to live. But I'm going to start back up again with those, and I keep on meaning to do one about my garage. But equally, that's not happened yet either. I've got all the photos for it, but I've just not done it yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know how much I look at it. Let's look through, and we'll see. Because I look at the first nomination here, the Alan Parsons project, and I don't know what it's about. So I obviously don't look at readers' other modifications that much.
So the Alan Parsons project is Mystery Machines laser, I believe.
I know what that is then. Yes, I do know about that. And I have received things from it. So, yeah, I love that. Well done. What an obscure title. Does that get explained?
I believe it does.
Okay.
I'm just checking to see whether or not this is the laser or if it's something else.
Okay.
We've got 9 pages of it. So, anyway, go and look at that. It's just good. Project Why Not is a lawnmower business craziness, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's someone with a ride-on lawnmower, Stigian.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's proper lunacy. We have bass guitar build. Always got time for people building musical instruments.
Yeah.
Gas turbine content from Frankenhealy.
Yeah.
That's going to be proper mental.
Yeah.
We've got another lawnmower on the Atco mower. We've got letters from Manila, which, as you say, it's kind of semi-correlated occasionally, but we're going to have to let it slide because it's really good.
It's someone who's a bit like us, doing stuff we like to know about but don't do ourselves.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing, isn't it?
That's kind of the very, very definition of readers' other modifications, as far as I'm concerned. We got Seth's wonderful Diddy engineering thread, which he keeps updating, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
We got the Renault Master.
Do you think Seth is coming to the awards this year? It's some distance further than he usually travels.
It is. It'll be interesting to see if he does.
He does do the distance sometimes.
He does just drive around somewhere. And it's a Sunday, so it'll be available. So we shall see.
Yeah.
We got this Renault Master camper van conversion, which I actually took a bit of an interest in because I like camper van conversions, even if they are modern things. Ferguson tractors, you can't get better than Ferguson tractors.
I don't know much about tractors.
Oh, right, yeah, no, you need to move to the country.
I know there's Porsche tractors.
There are Porsche tractors, and there's Lamborghini tractors as well.
Oh, yeah.
V8 coffee table, which is good, which we like.
Who's that thread by?
It's not by.
It's not by Scrape and Scrape.
It's not by Christoph. It's by Chris.
Well, then, in that case, okay. Well done then.
Well done there at you for building your V8 coffee table.
Yeah.
A motorbike thread. How very dare they? But
I'm not interested in motorbikes.
No, it looks good though.
I am interested in motorbikes.
What I want is someone. Here you go. Here's a challenge for you, readers, other mod people. Someone build a proper Bozazuku motorbike in the UK. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Massey Ferguson, more tractors.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Modify my roof to keep it on my house. Sorry, I'm going to click into this. What are you going to say about Massey Fergusons and tractors?
I was going to say that earlier on you said that Fergusons were the only tractors, and now you're talking about Massey Fergusons.
Well, yeah.
Is that the same thing? Is this like, I don't know, pre-corporate buyout fenders or something? Or
in all
you
honesty,
don't know, do you?
No.
You don't know which is better, Massey Ferguson or Ferguson, or whether just this guy with the 1951 Ferguson has just missed off the word Massey. You live in the country, but you don't know enough.
I haven't lived here since the 50s. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I haven't lived anywhere since the 50s. So
that's it. We need to do interviews with people who know about tractors now.
Oh no, we don't. Right, let's swiftly move on to new thread of the year.
Ooh.
So we got Mr. Mark Bogner supplying us with a range of awesomeness.
Yeah, definitely.
Big fan of that thread. I wish more stuff would spin out of it. I know that was kind of his original intent, which is also the original intent of the of thread to a certain degree.
People want an UF thread, don't they?
Yeah.
Or the the UF thread's our one, isn't it?
Yeah, UF thread's our one. No Rhyme No Reason was the general one, and that was, it was good. Like, some of the stuff that was in that was good, some of it was not so good, and then
I accidentally deleted it.
You accidentally deleted it, didn't you?
I did accidentally.
Because you were trying to delete a post because somebody had done something wrong with it, and you deleted the thread. Genius.
It's the only time it was such a. I say good, but if you're going to delete a thread, delete like one of the major threads on the forum.
Yeah.
Honestly, I must apologise to people who use that, but I think that Mark Bogner has stepped up and made the thread that has taken its place and is better. Hopefully, I won't accidentally delete that one.
Please don't. But definitely would like to see more stuff spin off of that. Anyway, at the moment, that thread, brilliant. What we got, 1930.
We trust him to find stuff on the internet for us.
He's good. He's good at that stuff. 1930 Citroen C4 hot rod pickup, which was Dez's latest project, which amused me when he just titled it Citroen C4.
I was hovering over the delete key for that.
He
deliberately didn't put 1930 on the start.
He had to be careful.
That better be good.
I'm glad to see someone doing it. I've been thinking about, I'm sure a lot of people have for a long time, why we don't pick up more 30s European cars to do than American cars, because there are a lot out there, and in France there's loads of them.
Yeah.
And they're dirt cheap as well, particularly in comparison to the American stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see someone doing that.
And like proper American hot rods are quite big.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise that. I grew up reading, Street Machine and stuff like that. And the first time I saw a Model A, and it was huge, I thought, that's a bit much. We don't need those massive things.
That's a little bit ridiculous.
Well done, Des.
Well done, Des. So we got Grizz and Martin's epic US road trip. We do like a road trip, and that was epic. So that was all good. Big fan of people documenting their road trips.
Absolutely.
If you go on a road trip, document it.
Do so.
If Only You Were Nearer, another road trip kind of, plus buying shenanigans, plus guest appearances from various retro riders, plus some Porsches. So all grand, very popular thread.
That's it. Yeah, and it's still going as well.
Yeah,
things are still happening.
Still happening. 12 cars in a year, which kind of popped up out of nowhere as far as I was concerned. Like I went into Reader's Rides one day and it had sort of 7 pages of stuff on it. I was like, what? This is okay. Yeah. And then started to have a look through it, and it's pretty cool.
Good concept, isn't it?
Yeah, I quite like it. It's pretty nice.
I mean, unless you're a car dealer, and then that's not much of a turnover, really, is it?
No.
There you go. He's not a car. Carry
on. What are you up to this weekend? That's me. They were.
I thought it was a quick. I was about to answer. I'm going to the Retro Rides Awards at the Museum.
I try and do those on a Thursday. I haven't done them so far in January, mainly because not much has been happening. So I will ask it this weekend to make sure everyone's going to the awards, because it's very important.
Good question. Yeah.
And then there's the Drifting Norgvard, or what Gap Billers really like. And I really like that thread.
I love that thread. I don't just like it. I love that thread.
Because it's kind of what I expect I would experience going to Gap Bill.
I'm a very boring person. Yeah. And I'm not saying, in fact, I forgot the name of the guy. It's Surprising Scope. Is that right? Yeah, and I'm not saying he's boring, but what other people will consider boring, in that I don't necessarily want to hear over-the-top computer-generated music all the time and have people incredibly drunk around me.
Yeah,
neither of which are as nice as cars are to me. So I love it. I think it's a brilliant thread.
Yeah, no, big fan of that thread. So, what are you most looking forward to in 2016, or the Kiss of Death Award, as we like to call it? There hasn't been since, I think, Nightmares Racing's estate van Mark III. There hasn't been a single car that's been nominated for this that has been finished the following year. I'm not 100% sure if there's been a single car that's been nominated in this for the last 6 years that's actually been finished yet. I would need to go back and check. But this is proper Kiss of Death Award. So sorry to the winner of this, but you'll find out on Sunday who that is. But we have lots of cards in here, so I'm just going to have a quick scroll through.
This is the award that you don't want to win, isn't it, really?
It's almost.
Your choice is, do I have a finished car or do I have an award? Yeah. So yeah, apologies to the winner of this.
So we've got the Volvo P1800 with the V8 conversion. Always love a Volvo P1800 ES of any type.
Yeah.
V8 conversion makes it even better. MX-5 chassis makes it quite interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah, interesting in that.
I wonder if any beavers are involved.
Yes, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. As mentioned in the last podcast.
Look out for those beavers.
You've got to look out for them because they are looking out for you.
Yes.
Mazda RX-2, this is just beyond my ability to comprehend.
Here's the thread I've seen. This guy is quite something, isn't he? It's like, oh, I've got one of those. I shall travel to the other side of the world, and then I can't fit it. I shall make one.
Yes.
Making a tool better than any tool ever.
He's phenomenal, and he's a lovely chap because he's been helping me put my suspension together.
Has he?
Yeah, even by fabricating me some little nylon-y bits to go in my inserts.
You are using the best of the best.
Seriously, I didn't realise how amazing he was. It was fantastic.
That thread is something very special. If you haven't looked at that thread, people, look at that thread.
Look at that thread. It's grand.
Yeah.
We've got the twin-engine Volvo 850.
That Volvo has got 2 engines.
It's got 2 engines.
Yeah.
It's got an oil cooler on the roof.
Has it?
It's got an internet following.
Yes.
It's going to be good. I'm sure he is, but I'm hoping it's going to get painted.
Yes.
Judging from the picture. But yeah, this is it's a very well-known car.
It's a twin-engine Volvo.
In fact, it won last year's most anticipated, which is why it's still not finished.
Oh.
We got Piston Popper's next 12 cars, which was...
There we go. Refer to the right honourable gentleman to our previous comment.
Yes.
Yeah.
We then have Kev from Wales. I was unaware this existed until this got nominated.
I don't know about this either. What's he up to?
Which is a Suzuki SJ chassis, which appears to be turning into some kind of Willy Gasser thing.
Do you know, I've seen a picture of that somewhere. I like the sound of that.
It seems mental.
Yeah.
A V8 supercharged Opel Manta Ray. Can't go wrong with a Manta Ray. Can't go wrong with a V8. So
no. And if you want to buy a V8 Manta A at the moment, there's one in the classifieds.
There is one in the classifieds. It looks pretty well screwed together so far.
It's a project. You could win next year's and not finish it.
Yeah, good. There's a Toyota MR2, which I like that thread. I had a look through that thread when it got nominated, and it's basically someone a bit like me soldering away with a car, which I'm a big fan of. So, all in favour of that. Then we got Blown Imps, Toyota Sleeker GT4 ST205.
Yeah.
So
that's a good car.
So
it's a special colour, isn't it?
It's a crazy green colour.
Unexpected. Yeah.
So people that don't know about Blown Imp, I actually did a podcast with him, which was recorded in my living room, which only Simon has heard because it was a terrible recording. But he's a fascinating guy, and he's worked in motorsport, and he's worked consulting for Jaguar Land Rover, and he had definite difficult things going on in his life, and all the time he's been soldering away on his car, on top of all of the work and the life shenanigans going on. And he even came down and helped me make my Datsun less explodey. So we love Blown Imp, and we love his car because he really knows his stuff, and I think it's going to be a bit of a weapon. And
you have to do the podcast again so that people can hear it.
Well, luckily he's moving, so he's moving a little bit nearer or easier to get to. So we're looking forward to seeing him. Then we've got Bastar's Child, Cosmo Mazador hybrid Frankenstein car.
Yeah.
Which is old stuff put into some other stuff.
Always a good formula.
Yeah, just put some stuff into another thing.
Well, let's hope he doesn't win so that we can see that finished.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that going along.
There's a lot of cars here.
Yeah, there is. We're going to scroll through them. I'm going to try and scroll through them a bit quickly. We've got the Senator Caravan, which is that Elks?
I don't know. I assume caravan means it's an estate.
Yes, that's no, it's Monzafil. Sorry, Monzafil. I confused you with elk. Don't let that happen again.
It's almost an insult.
Yeah. Sorry, elk.
Or Monzafil.
Or Monzafil.
Someone probably.
We got Dez's truck, which
another
one, which is a sort of a matching transporter for his project.
Yeah.
We got Camera Shy's 280Z, which I hear is still moving along, still getting there, which is nice.
That's assuming someone doesn't go and buy it.
Yeah, quite.
Make a big thread out of it.
Then we got Dom's Opel Kadett, which is the most cursed car by this award. I think we originally, I think this got most anticipated, possibly in 2006. I think this has been the most anticipated car for a very long time.
Most anticipated of the decade, and it still didn't make it. That's quite good car though. Good car. Looking forward to seeing that.
Looking at that again will be very well engineered because that guy knows the stuff.
And that's an example of life getting in the way, doing other things, and I think he's cracking on with it again.
Yeah, he's definitely back working on that. Then we got Phoenix Capri's track car, who was previously Phoenix Escort, and then he rolled his Escort at the Retro Rise Gathering at Haynes.
At the Haynes Museum.
So
we'll be able to stand at the spot.
I don't know if he's coming along this weekend just to cry a little bit, but there it is.
Don't let him on the track.
Yeah, no, he's not down there. It'll probably just fall over. We've got this XBRS Austin BMC thing, which in the photo is just a bunch of weeds and some wheels that you can see, because that's basically the best photo of it that I could find in the thread. I'll be impressed to see when that's finished. We got a Sprite with a jet engine because
Spridjet, brilliant.
Because Retro Rides. We've got a genuine dimmer 205 GTI.
Wow.
I knew those things were going to come around again eventually, and it's nice to see one being looked after and restored rather than just sort of the body kit binned off and chucked in the bin. We got an Austin All Agro with a 16 valve engine in it.
I haven't looked at that thread. I'm going to because I like the sound of it.
Nice Reliant Scimitar. I think more people should do things with Reliant Scimitars. Nice
things rather than stealing the bits from them, you mean?
Yes, definitely.
I think their axles and chassis and stuff.
I think Reliant Scimitar absolutely slammed over a set of just standard BBS RS would just look the nuts.
Yeah. If this is the one I'm thinking of, he is doing really cool stuff to it. Isn't this a guy who's already built a Lotus? Is that the one we're thinking of?
Is it? No, it's Darryl W's, which is not Darren W.
It's not Darren W.
It's Darryl W. He's from Ireland. He's doing cool things with it. I'm liking it. There's custom stuff going on. There's all sorts of business.
He's doing things to Scimitars that people should do to Scimitars.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Well done him.
And then we've got the Renault Master Race camper van back in again, which I think at the moment doesn't have much in the way of votes and won't get any because this is shut now. But I think that's because everybody that voted for it and readed other mods. Sorry,
it's over there. Yeah. Well, 2 nominations is good, nonetheless.
Yes. Pipey McGraw's VW K70 with an Audi VW Passat VW W8 engine. Yeah. That's insane.
I know about this one. I've seen the pictures of the Passat next to the K70.
I think there's a possibility. There is a possibility you might.
It's driving. It's out. I don't know if it's finished, but it's driving.
You might see it this weekend.
No.
You may do.
No.
Yarp.
Well, they can't possibly win then.
Well, yeah, quite. Quite. Then we got.
He says, as if he wasn't looking at the results.
The Honda S800 with the F20C, which the first time I saw this come up anywhere, I was like, this is insane, and it is. So that's brilliant.
Right, so another one I have to check out. I like the sound of it.
Another scimitar with a diesel conversion, all in favour of more scimitars.
I like scimitars. I like diesels.
Atlas panel van, very rare.
Yeah.
It is, and judging by the amount of rust on that looks like it's going to remain rare, but guys soldering on with it, guys doing good work.
I've seen it moving. It moves, doesn't it? So that's good.
Mark 1 Jag, always like a Mark 1 Jag project.
Do you?
Yeah. Big fan of them. Insane Creations Model A, which is insane, lives up to its name.
I like it's all hand built, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, pretty much everything's hand built. I like those guys. There was an interesting small discussion in there around some suspension geometry, and rather than throw their toys out of their pram and go, "Oh my god, I know what I'm talking about," shut up. They kind of went, "Oh, okay, we'll have a look into that." Which I quite like. The Green Red Goddess still floating around.
Yeah.
I still have yet to see that in the flesh. He keeps threatening to bring it to the gathering. He hasn't. The Low and Slow '93 Subaru Brat, which I love. I'm a really big fan of this, and the guy's doing a vlog as well. So go and watch his vlog. He seems to be a nice guy, and he talks nice, so it's all good. Finally,
I have to say very quickly, looking at all of the nominations there, they're all quite early cars, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of it.
Which is good. If that was a cross section of the forum, certainly it must be a cross section of what people want to see. Yeah. There's a lot of old stuff in there.
Yeah, I think
well done forum.
I think it's interesting that firstly there's so much anticipated stuff, and all of it looks good. Like all of those cars look great. And the other thing I find interesting is, as you say, it's older stuff, but it's less obvious older stuff. So it's not like, oh, here's a Mark 1 Escort, here's a VW. Like, not discouraging those cars. I love them to bits, but it's interesting that people are finding the things that are between the gaps that they can afford to buy and chop up and have fun with.
That's what we're about, isn't it? That's what we're about.
A little bit of fun with cars. It's all very nice. So, Car of the Year,
to everyone.
The very serious Car of the Year award, which has 21 nominations, all of which looked great. So, let's just preface that by saying all these cars look good.
They do look good.
We've got the Holden Ute.
That's a Holden.
That's very Australian. Although it's not so Australian that it's got massive wheels, it looks pretty cool.
And it's not nose high either, so it's not that Australian. So it's quite Australian, not Australian in terms of finish and base model, but not necessarily Australian in all respects.
Yeah, I'm big fan of that. Another Australian car underneath, actually, which is the Alpha.
Just quickly though, that Holden is a bit grilly, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but Holdens are a bit grilly.
I know. Yeah, it's not a modification, is it? They're like that, and it's chrome. So
my favourite thing about that Holden is the wheels and the way it sits. It has stance, people, but that does not mean it's sitting on the floor.
That's right. They're not stretched, those tyres.
Those tyres are not stretched in any way, shape, or form.
That's it.
But it has stance. The Alpha SR20 Bertone. Oh God, I love it.
That's also got stance.
That's also got stance, and it doesn't scrape. It's amazing. No. And it's got an SR20 in it, which means it's a brilliant car, because all brilliant cars have SR20s in them.
I've heard that those Alfa Romeo twin cams aren't bad.
Those Alfa Romeo twin cams aren't too bad, but I quite like the fact that he's stuck a ridiculous engine in that thing. And the guy likes bonsai trees as well, so that's all good. If you follow his Instagram, Stonewall Racing 356. Oh, it's so good. Another one of these high fence cars. So I still haven't done the high fence thread, and I will. High fence cars. That's the style of 2016/2017 when we all catch up with them. For me, that's kind of what I'd be aiming for with my car.
I think this is, if looking at that Porsche, it's the art of a good car, really, isn't it? And there's things on it that you wouldn't necessarily have done, and then they've just worked. There's so many touches that look obvious until you think about it. On that, it's
great. It's just absolutely brilliant car.
It's a lovely car.
And then we've got the Ultravox Bmw 2002.
Oh, there's a strange one. We said no spoilers, didn't we? Yeah. But look at that. It's got a spoiler.
It has got a spoiler. The funny thing with that is it's kind of that whole thing that we've talked about before of liking the mashing of scenes together, and that's very much if a Japanese person built a BMW 2002 as if it was a Japanese car, and I'm a fan of it. I like it. I'm not a massive fan of the wing, but whatever.
No,
it's all good. Oh, the crazy Spark Prince Skyline. That thing.
We did get to the bottom of this, didn't we?
We did.
I thought it might be a chassis swap, and it's not.
So with the aid of the forum and the inimitable Alan Thomas, and then some internet hunting by my goodly self, we found out what we need to know about that car, and it's insane. Men in Black's E21, which was recently featured in Retro Cars magazine, I believe. That's a BMW E21 on Hayashis, or Hayashi copies anyway.
Rotor BM8s.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's lovely, and the engine's lovely, and it's all just very well screwed together.
There's a few choices on there that you wouldn't necessarily make.
Yeah.
Which we're looking at these cars as we're saying. Yeah, so. Like yellow headlights, clear indicators, bronze rotors. There's a lot of stuff on that, but it's just not even the choice of colour. Not what you'd expect. All comes together to make a lovely looking car.
Definitely, it's not following a formula exactly, and it's kind of doing its own little thing, but doing it well. You have a little bit of confidence to do it well.
Yeah.
Slam Trabant, which does exactly what it says on the tin.
I think I saw that at Players Classic.
Yes.
It is a Trabant that has slammed.
It is a Trabant that has been slammed.
A slammed Trabant, yeah.
Talking of slammed, Rusty Slamington.
Oh.
Most controversial car in the scene.
Yeah.
Occasionally. This thing's insane. So we got right next to Rusty Slamington, we have our very own Mark Bogner's K11 Micra, another recent Retro Cars magazine feature. Another great little car. I'm
looking at the photo, and I'm sure other people aren't looking at the photo as we say it, but I am wondering how he took that photograph, because it's not obvious how he got the camera that high.
Yeah, I know. He must have been on a ladder or something. He couldn't have just held up the camera in the air. That'd have been
that wouldn't have happened.
Foolish way of doing it.
That wouldn't have happened. Do you know, we mentioned him last time, and I think I got him in trouble, didn't I? Because I said he didn't spend any money on it, and his wife disagreed. So if his wife's listening, Mrs. Bogner, he doesn't spend any money on it at all. It means nothing to him. You are everything to him.
You are everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we got a Volvo with a Gordini engine.
Wait. His car's nice, isn't it?
This car is.
Right, that's it. Let's move on.
Volvo with a Gordini engine. We've only got a limited amount of time, Simon. And now we've wasted it talking about limited amount of time.
Well, you're going to edit it, aren't you?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, Volvo Gordini engine. Wonderful. Lovely colour. Big fan of this.
Yeah, I like DAFs. And they're still quite cheap when you can find them. It's not a DAF, it's a Volvo. But I like DAFs.
Same thing.
Even post Volvo buyout or whatever happened. There you go. CVT-tastic.
We got Jaguar with some custom paint.
Oh.
I love the custom paint. I love the have-a-go nature of this one.
Yeah.
We got a rather nice Porsche 924. That's an interesting thread, actually. If you find that around the place, I didn't actually link build threads from here because not all of them had build threads. Lotus Elite on air, very nice.
Yeah.
That's sort of one of the star cars of last season, I think.
It's got white ones on it.
Yeah. It looks better when it has the skis on the back as well. It looks quite nice. The Arbath 850 replica, or a Bath, depending on if you're northern. Again, can't go wrong with that. That's just a great car.
It is, and what a great setting to take the photo.
Yeah, I thought when I looked at the photo, like that's a really well photographed photo. If you see what I mean. And next up, we got the Humber Snipe race car, which is brilliant. It's inspired for so many reasons, and I love it.
Is that what's the British look we're talking about? Is that Cafe Racer? It is, isn't it?
Not quite, but yeah, conceivably. It would be Cafe Racer if you tried to apply it to a four-door saloon of some description. But it's not even a Cafe Racer, it's a genuine racer. So big fan of that. V8 Capri that looks like something Mad Max would drive.
That makes good noises as well.
It really does. Can't go wrong with the Capri, can't go wrong with the V8. Combine them together.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. New Zealand-based Mazda-powered Viva, really well screwed together little car. This,
yeah, look at this. It's come on since the first build as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, really nice sleeper as well. It's got everything, looks just right, and then you open the bonnet and it looks even more right. Really cool.
Yeah, I do love an HB.
Yeah. 2CV Hill Climber.
That's a great thread. I've read that thread. Yeah.
Do you know what that is? That's having a go, and I love it. And I think that if anything can come out of anything we do, having a go is the thing to do. This Rover 820 is looking moody.
You just don't see enough Rover 820s done, do you?
Well, I think it would look like this looks great, and I'm very pleased it's been nominated. But the
coupe
look
version.
Yeah, it would lend itself to some kind of VIP treatment, I feel.
Definitely. Yeah. That would look smart, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And it looks like, judging by this picture, that's at Brands Hatch. So he must be a tractor.
Thrashing it about somewhere.
Yeah.
Up next, we got our winner of the Retro Rides Gathering Car of the Year.
Quite right too. Yeah. And this is the state it was in at the gathering with the standard wheels on.
Yeah.
It's running on a set of more modern alloys, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm kind of a fan of it in this guise. I mean, it looks great. Anyway, there's not much that you can do badly with a Volvo 1800 ES on air ride. But I kind of like it on the original wheels, just for the audacity of just throwing air ride on it and just dropping it as low as it will go. It's brilliant.
The great thing about wheels is, in a lot of cases, you can just change them.
Yeah.
So you can both looks are a mere half an hour away from you being in use, aren't they?
Pretty much,
except in most cases, people should remember to do the wheel nuts up. So you probably shouldn't change wheels that often.
I should never be allowed to change wheels because they're just bang.
Not without help.
adult supervision is generally required for me to work on cars.
Or set an alarm whenever you're taking some wheels off. Set an alarm for when you put them back on to check.
Well, handily, cars have an alarm when you have to put the wheels on correctly. They make a horrible thumping noise.
They do, especially when you've got hubcaps.
Yeah.
You can hear them rattling around inside. Oh, yeah.
And final car of this whole thing.
Car 21 nominees. That's impressive.
That's a lot. I think that's probably the most we've had, which again says something about the health of the scene as it is at the moment.
And I didn't feel like we had to gloss over any of them because they weren't good enough. Or anything.
God,
that's the point. Is not only was there 21 cars nominated, there were 21 good cars.
Yeah, and to be honest, I reckon you could probably find another 21 if you hunted around a little bit. It's amazing.
There's definitely holes in that list.
Yes, I can guarantee that. Yeah, Ford Angular 105e with a V6 twin turbocharged. Don't know what kind of V6, but it's got 2 turbos on it.
Again, I mean, there's cars here that haven't necessarily looked at properly, and I don't know this car very well, but to look at it with just a set of Ronal RS4 spokes on there, it's pretty much, how you do an Anglia.
Yeah.
And yet, there's a V6 twin turbo under there, which isn't pretty much how you do an Anglia. So, a bit of a sleeper in its own way there.
Yeah, no, big fan of this one as well. I think there's nothing that isn't deserving of the title, which sounds rude, but there's definitely a case when you open up nominations to anyone that you can get all sorts of shenanigans in there.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in here that I wouldn't say didn't deserve to be here for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Either like a clever idea, just a really well screwed together build, or just an all round quite nice car.
Yeah.
Or the work that's gone into some of them as well has definitely helped put them into the list. You sort of look at the work and you go, oh yeah, you deserve to be here as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and anyone who hasn't won, you did deserve to win. You just didn't.
You just didn't.
You just didn't. You were good enough. It's just that people didn't vote for you. That's all.
That's just how it works.
Yeah.
It's all a bit of a lottery anyway. It's fine.
I think so.
It's all about showing people the cars and the other things that get shown and people going and investigating. I mean, there's cars in there, having looked through it again now, that I clearly haven't taken enough notice of, but I need to go and investigate further.
Which is exactly the point of it, isn't it? Even though
I know we give awards, but
we should know more than other people. But we're you get to look through cars and go, wow, I haven't seen that. After this conversation, I'm straight onto Retro Rides, checking out some of these cars more in depth.
That sounds what you should be doing. Well, right about now.
Yeah.
So we're going to be at Haynes on Sunday.
Yes.
We're doing the awards at 2:00 in the Napier rooms. We'll be there from about 10ish, I think.
Yeah.
If with luck and a fair wind, I'll have screwed the Datsun back together and bring that down. But maybe not. What I'm hoping is that I'm going to be able to work out how to finish the awards, because I don't know how to end a podcast.